Good day, YouTube, and welcome to Bishop's Blast. I'm your host, go by the name of Dr. B Bang, where we dive into what I consider sanitized version of a YouTube channel where we talk about all things firearms related. Now, I'm not a subject matter expert by any stretch of the imagination, just an old retired Navy guy who loves the Lord, has quite the affinity for all things that go wrong at this time. I'm gonna ask you to do me a real quick favor if you've never done this before, and that's right, hit the subscribe button. This will give you an opportunity to have a bird's eye view chronicling my 2A journey. I believe that if you watch along with me, we'll be able to have a blast together. Now, since I'm already asking for those favors, once again, do me another quick favor, because I'm just in a favor asking mood. Hit that like button and please share this far and wide so that we can be able to get some of this information out all over the place, and it will be because of you. So I thank you for tuning in to another edition of Bishop's Blast. Come on, let's get it in. Today we're getting ready to go into another version of Bishop's Blast where I'm going to talk about, I'm really going to deal with the brand again, and specifically with this brand, how I've replicated pretty much a very similar firearm over and over and over again, and why sometimes I have to stop the insanity and say, let me see when they're going to come out with the last version of this and stop buying this firearm altogether. So I'm going to be dealing with that. And actually, the company that I'm going to be dealing with really today is going to be Smith & Wesson. But before I get into this, for all of you Smith & Wesson lovers, let me do my EDC check. Quick EDC check. Today, I am rocking the Glock 43. This is the Glock 43. It is clear, safe direction, and shoot. It's the Glock 43, chambered in 9mm. Has a rubber hole grip on it. I don't carry this much only because it's the OG Glock. It's the 6 rounds plus 1 Glock 43, and until I can find a Glock 43X used to replace it, I still gotta rock with it, just carry extra mags. But it's my EDC for the day that I'm carrying. It's the Glock 43. Still love how it shoots, but I need me a Glock 43X. But for now, it is what it is. It's my EDC for the day, Glock 43. The getting into the Smith & Wesson, I really want to get into more specifically Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. The M&P stands for military and police. The irony is, I thought with a term like M&P, these would be some of the guns that would have been contracted when it comes down to the government contracts that go out there. Even though there are quite a few law enforcement that actually do carry the M&P Shield, Smith & Wesson did not get to my knowledge at least, I know from a Department of the Navy perspective, they don't carry Smith & Wessons, they carry SIGs. So it's a good firearm. I just want to show you a couple of variations of basically the same gun that I have, and let you see what it do. We're going to start off with, this is a Smith & Wesson M&P 9C. This is the Smith & Wesson M&P 9C. Mag out. It is clear, safe direction, and shoot. This is the Smith & Wesson M&P 9C. It's chambered in 9mm. This magazine is a 12 plus 1 capacity. So this Smith & Wesson military and police, it is it feels good in the hand. It's a great size carry gun. So from an EDC perspective, I don't think I've ever carried this. So it's more of a safe queen now. Even though I will take it to the range from time to time. It shoots well. The sights are okay. The grip is nice, feels good in the hand. I like the pretty much everything about it. The one of the things is from a loaded chamber indicator, it has a little dot at the top that I kind of like. Smith & Wesson pretty much, and one thing that you'll notice, I want you to, as you look at the M&P 9C, look at the texturing on the handle. I want you to see it on here, and I want you to kind of keep that in mind and print that in your mind as we go through the other two of the Smith & Wesson's M&Ps that we're going to come up with. But this is a nice a firearm nonetheless. Trigger is okay. Not the best trigger, not the worst trigger that I've had. This is the middle of the road as far as I'm concerned with it. It works. It'll do in a pinch. I don't know, but I haven't taken this out in a while, so it's basically been a safe queen. But that's the 9C. Show you one more time. The 9C. I'm gonna go real quickly into Smith & Wesson M&P. This is the Shield, the 9. This is the M2.0 version. This is the M&P Shield 2.0. I like this one just a little bit better. It is clear, in safe direction, and shoot. And I like this trigger a little bit better. And I definitely like this grip a little bit better than this one too. So the 2.0, Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. This is also chambered in 9mm. It's a polymer frame striker-fired pistol. This carries 8+1. So even though it's to me a better firearm than a 9C, this is a magazine. It literally has less rounds in it. Sights are pretty much the same. I like the pretty much the grip angle works well for me. I get pretty much a better perch on this. I'm gonna hold them up side by side in a minute, but I get a better perch holding on to this one than I do the 9C. This also comes with, it has a crimson trace laser that goes to it. So it's a little red laser that goes along with it. I am not going to turn it on or put my hand in front of it to see if it's on, only because I have a phobia when it comes down to flagging myself when it comes with a firearm. Even a firearm that I know is empty. I refuse to still put my hand in front of that firearm. I don't know, I just don't like it. It also has somewhat of a loaded chamber indicator, the hole. So if I chamber a round, I can literally see the brass in that round from the top. But I really do like this. Now, once again, the grip texturing on this, way better when it comes down to the 9C. Let me see if I can hold them up together in comparison. Size wise, the Shield 2.0 is a little bit smaller. When it comes down to the grip, where you're actually going to be showing printing, if you would, it's about the same. So bad on the Shield, you print just as much, if not maybe a centimeter or two more, yet I can't get 4 more rounds in this. Doesn't make any sense to me. But the Shield 2.0 just feels better. When it comes down to the sights, they're pretty much identical. See what we're working with. I will say, once again, the trigger in the M&P 2.0 is a little bit better. But yes, Smith & Wesson M&P, the texturing on this, I know it's polymer frame, but it seems overly, the 9C, overly plasticky. This is like skateboard grip, sandpaper, a better grip on it. So when you hold on to this, kind of bites your back a little bit. So I like this better. That's number 2. Last one and final one will be once again the Smith & Wesson M&P Military Police 9 Shield. But this one is the EZ. Once again, it is a polymer frame, striker 5 pistol, chambered in 9mm, and this one grip is probably the middle of the road between the two of them, so I probably like this grip better. Definitely better than the 9C, almost as good as the 2.0, but this is an excellent firearm. This actually has also an 8-round capacity. I stick it in, chamber a round plus 1. I can have a 9 rounds with this. For the size of this, for comparison, let's pull up the 9C and the EZ and let's see what we're dealing with. Basically, sights are the same, slide is the same. It's pretty similar in size all the way around, and that's the reason why I don't get it. 11 plus 1 on this one. I don't understand why they couldn't have done that on the 2.0 or the 9 Shield EZ. I don't get it. Before I close out, the loaded chamber indicator on this is a little bit different. It's not a hole on this one. What it happens is there's a little bit of an indentation. So once I get to the point where I actually chamber around, it's and a round is in the barrel, it pulls up a little bit. So the good thing that I like about those are, if I was checking in the dark, I can feel and see if I had something in there, because if it's dark, I can't look down the hole and see if there's something going on with this. So I really do like how this is put together a little bit more. Also, I'll talk more about what the EZ stands for, but this is something that once I got this, and this was actually a present from my wife. I don't know, it might have been Father's Day, I don't know what it was. But what I didn't like was this safety, because it had to be depressed before you can actually pull the trigger. Now, it actually has safety here as well, but this safety, just like on most of the 1911s or 2011s, I really wasn't a fan of that until I came to the realization, generally when I grab a firearm, a pistol more specifically, and I grab it the right way, it doesn't really matter. Handle it right, and you don't even notice the fact that it has that grip safety on here whatsoever. I've literally seen people put tape around it. I don't get it. Handle the firearm right, and it shouldn't be an issue whatsoever. But the thing with this specifically, and the reason why it's an EZ, I'm going to show you. Let's start with the magazine. Different from the magazines from the other ones. The reason why it's EZ, it means it's easier. And the fact of the matter is, instead of sitting up there trying to push them down, for most of us that do it without a loader, a speed loader, you can literally just push this down here on the spring and just start dropping them in there. So when it comes down to loading them, anybody can sit up there and do this. It's supposed to be easier. Also, another thing, the reason why it's an EZ is it's so easy to manage. The slide is so easy to rack. So for anyone that's out there, so for younger shooters or shooters that don't necessarily have the hand strength, or I don't know, maybe my wife was saying, you getting old, you can't rack slides like you used to. But this is something that's so easy to be able to rack the slide if you actually needed to. So I really enjoy this, and surprisingly, this comes out for me to shoot probably more than the other two, mainly because if I'm going to the range to have a good time, I don't want to go through the trouble of getting my fingers all up in arms, or using the Upala and trying to use that to as a magazine loader. This is just easy, drop and go, and it's good. Just in case I didn't do it, it is clear, safe direction, and shoot. This is the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9 EZ. Still polymer frame striker fire pistol, chambered in 9mm. Now, I want to close with this. They're basically all the same firearm. They just handle different, feel different in certain ways, but they're all Smith & Wessons. They're all military and police, and they all shoot 9mm. This is the thing, and the reason why. Remember with the Glock 43, and I said, hey, look, I really want the Glock 43X, but I have a hard time going to spend my money to go buy another Glock 43X brand new, and they come out with the Glock 43X super macro, and now I'm gonna say, man, I should have waited for that. So that's the reason why, for me to be able to do that, I'm gonna have to wait, or somebody bless me with one, or hey, remember, bless people for anybody who's looking at doing that. But I really I think Smith & Wesson has got a good thing going on with the M&P line. I think it's reliable. I think that you won't have a problem with it. I think that anyone will be pleased with any one of these firearms. It depends on what your usage is and what your abilities are, basically, in choosing one from the other one. Once again, I'm somebody that prefers more magazine, more ammo to be able to load into a magazine. However, I carry more than one firearm on with me on the time, most of the time anyway. But I did want to be able to show you this, and I want to be able to do this from time to time, where I pull out something that's so similar, where you're like, Bishop, you got a lot of guns. Yeah, but they're different versions of the CZ. They're different versions of the H&K. They're different versions, you know, of the Walter. In and of themselves, they're very similar guns. However, they've added certain things, modified certain things, made certain things a little easier or more to make me be more efficient or effective. But it also makes me sometimes think and slow down and say, hey, look, even though I like it, maybe I should go ahead and look out for something else instead of diving right back into the same brand. Now, I am loyal, but when it comes down to brands, I'm a collector. I like to see what's out there and have fun with them. I just want to be able to share that with you. So if anybody's on the fence, or you're thinking about, hey, you've got this version of the firearm and you're getting ready to go and do another one, what are you going to do with the one that you already have? If you're a collector, I get it. But if you're just upgrading your firearm, after a while, it's almost like you keep trading your car. Where you gonna pay it off? So that's my public service announcement. I want you to be able to continue to enjoy what you do with firearms. I know I am. That's the reason I'm asking you to continue to stay tuned in with me, so you can chronicle my 2A journey, so that we can just be able to have a blast doing this. So I want to thank you for all of you that continue to tune in with me. So continue, please, to stay tuned and be blessed.